PF government for bringing quality health care near our homes.
Mr. President, allow me to thank you. As a grandmother, left with huge responsibility of raising my grandchildren, the social cash transfer that you have been giving us goes a long way in helping us our needs. At least I can afford to buy my beautiful grandchildren school supplies. We thank your poor government for supporting all vulnerable citizens like me. I pray that you continue helping those in need as our president for the next 5 years.
We may not be there yet, but we are not where we used to be. Gone are the days when we always had to travel out of the country for health procedures.
I remember when the whole family had to donate money so we could take Ambuya to South Africa for chemotherapy. Ish, we went through so much.
President Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF government have built, expanded and upgraded multiple health facilities across the country, leaving no province behind. Vote Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF that have brought you change.
President Dr. Edgar Lungu and the PF have consistently produced bumper harvests of over 3.5 million tons to make Zambia food secure. Early distribution of inputs through the Farmer Input Support Program is another key milestone achieved by President Lungu and the PF. Vote for Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF that have brought you change. President Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF have placed highly on the diversification of the agriculture sector to ensure national food security and increased exports of key crops. President Lungu and the PF are working towards increasing production of other cash crops which have massive potential to contribute to the country's economic growth. Vote for Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF that have brought you change.
It's time to show Zambia what we have done.
Love and peace number one. Pasapolo mumutendere. The Fuji again.
It's time to show Zambia what we have done.
Love and peace number one. Pasapolo mumutendere. The Fuji again.
We have changed the mining tax regime to encourage value addition of minerals within Zambia and increase government revenue. We have amended the Mines and Minerals Development Act to declare gold as a strategic mineral. Vote for President Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF that have brought you change.
Amina Ablakadabla Etikata Kwalungu Bawato Isala Na futi galeza de piebu. Where my youth is fast and the toits for me now.
Today mubwesha Lungu akonga nyepo Chagwa Ubuya ntanshi
Livoti in the big up a people. Mama, livoti the big up a people. Sulaka dama.
Today over
No leta lika somone. Etika chagwa lungu chagwa. Na puti galeza de piebu. Where my youth is fast and the toits for me now. Ichalo cha Zambia, wechalo cha Zambia, ichalo cha Mtende. Umunobe ngale bomba.
Ipatala imisebo na maskulu Women empowerment Youth empowerment Development ya chalo Nobuya ntanshi wa Zambia Tena yo chagwa
No leta lika somone. Etika chagwa lungu chagwa. Na puti galeza de piebu. Where my youth is fast and the toits for me now. Afrika uchaba tasha. Eastern yose balumba. Northern yose batonga. Southern yose ichongedwe. Nilungu pie iwe. Nilungu tata.
Nilungu pe mbwe
Nilungu pie.
Apanga biti miroi.
We are the winning team. Tasha.
teka ifintu bachita balungu nokumona natumona bota bota na futi awelelepo bota bota na kaidi awekerepo
nilungu mubwata tutwale kwilungu waishafya nenkumbu kateka musumo wa chikuku nilungu mubwata tutwale kwilungu kateka musuma tutungulule sontapashele babombelepo ubuyantanshinabo bukonkanyepo ambotelepa makabakopala southern konsenalo apula choma na monze chiwempala kuno tatuwalo ko watula
hapa pena ni lungu de Kenya wele batonga babemba balozi balenje Kenya wele na bache waluvale kaunde na futi ya wele bishi bikwana kaine na futi ya leteka ifintu bachita balungu no kumona na tumona Kenya wele bota bota na futi ya wele lepo na futi ya wele bota bota na kaidi ya wekere po kaidi ya wele
nilungu mubu watoto twale kuilungu waichefene nkumbu kateka musumo wa chikuku nilungu mubu watoto twale kuilungu waichefene nkumbu kateka musumo wa chikuku
shibikwana kairi na futi ya leteka ifintu bachita balungu bakumona na tumona bota bota na futi ya welele po bota bota na kaidi ya wekere po
nilungu mubu watoto twale kuilungu waichefene nkumbu kateka musumo wa chikuku nilungu mubu watoto twale kuilungu waichefene nkumbu kateka musumo wa chikuku aleteka nakabidi na futi aleteka aleteka nakabidi na futi aleteka aleteka nakabidi na futi aleteka aleteka nakabidi na futi aleteka
babemba balozi balenje na kaidi ya wele na bache waluvale kaunde na futi ya wele babemba balozi balenje na kaidi ya wele na bache waluvale kaunde na futi ya wele
Love and peace number one. Pasapolo mumutendere. Na futi again. Uyu wine wale saatu bela. Ni wamene huyu mulungu anatipasa. Ni balungu imwe, ekateka imwe. Awelele po. Pachipuna tumu maintain kuti ziko wa maintain pachipuna tumu maintain kuti ziko wa maintain pachipuna tumu maintain kuti ziko wa maintain pachipuna tumu maintain ediga chako bachitemi chene uno mwaka nenivotela nifuna dada chagwa tie bonse ya makapali na futi again ona chalo chonse cha samu abwelerepo mukambo kateka ni ediga fly like a nigo one ziko ivendele masokolo mumutendele timubweza tisebenzele nilungu tuchitekele ziko ivendele masokolo mumutendele timubweza tisebenzele nilungu tuchitekele uyu wine wale saatu bela ni wamene huyu mulungu anatipasa ni balungu imwe ekateka imwe awelele po maiwe awelele po awelele po pachipuna tumu maintain kuti ziko wa maintain pachipuna tumu maintain kuti ziko wa maintain pachipuna tumu maintain kuti ziko wa maintain pachipuna tumu maintain ediga chako bachitemi chene sontapa shere iwe mulangia bombele sontapa shere iwe mulangia bombele sontapa shere iwe mulangia bombele mashere iwe unangia bombere pasu. Love and peace number one. Ukwamba na futi mawani. Tubombere fecha pomo. Tuteke Zambia as one. Uyu wine wale saa tupela. Ni wamene huyu mulungu anatipasa. Ni malungu imwe.
Giving birth to my firstborn son was a challenge, not because of maternal complications, but because the health center was so far away. Today, the newly built health center is only meters away. So with my second-born, it was so much easier. My aunt and my best friend were even there to witness her birth. As a mother, access to antenatal and postnatal healthcare is a priority. That is why I commend the PF government for bringing quality healthcare near our homes.
Mr. President, allow me to thank you. As a grandmother, left with huge responsibility of raising my grandchildren, the social cash transfer that you have been giving us goes a long way in helping us our needs. At least I can afford to buy my beautiful grandchildren school supplies. We thank your poor government for supporting all vulnerable citizens like me. I pray that you continue helping those in need as our president for the next 5 years.
We may not be there yet, but we are not where we used to be. Gone are the days when we always had to travel out of the country for health procedures.
I remember when the whole family had to donate money so we could take Ambuya to South Africa for chemotherapy. Ish, we went through so much.
President Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF government have built, expanded and upgraded multiple health facilities across the country, leaving no province behind. Vote Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF that have brought you change.
President President Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF have placed highly on the diversification of the agriculture sector to ensure national food security and increased exports of key crops. President Lungu and the PF are working towards increasing production of other cash crops which have massive potential to contribute to the country's economic growth. Vote for Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF that have brought you change.
It's time to show Zambia what we have done.
Love and peace number one. Pasapolo mumutendele. Na fuji again. Uyu wine walesa atubela. Ni wamene huyu mulungu anatipasa. Ni balungu imwe.
It's time.
Rally which is being broadcast live on radio, television, Facebook, and millions of Zambians are watching this rally right here. We are here again to continue with our campaign to speak to the Zambian people and to convince the Zambian people why we should vote for President Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the Patriotic Front on the 12th of August 2021. So we have again put a line of speakers, seasoned politicians, leaders that will speak to the people of Zambia and communicate the Patriotic Front message to the people of Zambia. We will see a clear contrast between the opposition on one side and the Patriotic Front on the other side. And we will explain why His Excellency President Edgar Chagwa Lungu deserves another 5 years in government. At this time, allow me, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all of us who are watching this thing live on radio, listening on listening on radio, watching live on television, and also live on Facebook page, that we will stand up and give a welcome applause to our first guest, and this is no other than Honorable Dr. Anthony Mumba, Member of Parliament. That's Dr. Anthony Mumba. That is Kantanshi 1. Dr. Mumba was a member of parliament, an independent member of parliament for Kantanshi from 2016 to 2020, 2016 to 2020 now, 2021, and now he is contesting on the Patriotic Front ticket as a member of parliament for Patriotic Front ticket. Honorable Anthony Mumba, you're welcome. You remain upstanding. The next guest, ladies and gentlemen, is no other than our former chief spokesperson for the government of the Republic of Zambia. She served as member of parliament for Petauke Central. She's a seasoned diplomat, seasoned politician, seasoned business lady, and an example to our daughters that if you work hard, you can make it. Welcome, Honorable Dora Siliya. Honorable Dora Siliya is also a member of the Central Committee of the Patriotic Front, one of the senior leaders of the Patriotic Front, and she's just the immediate past chairperson of the PF subcommittee of the Central Committee on Information and Publicity. You are welcome, Honorable Siliya. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me and join me in welcoming another very seasoned politician, businessman, in the name of Honorable Brian Mundubile. Honorable Mundubile is contesting as member of parliament for the Patriotic Front from Porokoso constituency. He is the immediate past member of parliament for Porokoso constituency on the Patriotic Front. He also served as the chief whip in the National Assembly and also served as the chairperson for the legal committee of the Patriotic Front subcommittee of Central Committee, and is still currently the member of Central Committee for the Patriotic Front. Last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcome one again seasoned politician in the name of Stephen Kapyongo, member of the Central Committee. So Honorable Kapyongo has served as the chairperson for the youths in the Patriotic Front. He served as the chairperson for security in the Patriotic Front. He's a member of the Central Committee. He's immediate past member of Parliament for Shiwangandu constituency. When he's dealing with issues of security, we call him as Jet Li or Tiger. Without further ado, we will remain upstanding as we go straight into the national anthem. Muntandize ko national anthem ya mchizungu yuvuta kwa kalingalinga kulia chizungu. National anthem.
And free, land of work and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for their right. We've won freedom's fight, all one, strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by God's good hand. Let us, all her people, join as one, brothers under the sun, all one, strong and free. One land and one nation is our cry. Dignity and peace need Zambia's high, like a noble eagle in its flight. Zambia, praise to thee, all one, strong and free. Praise be to God. Praise be. Bless our great nation. Free men we stand under the flag of our land, Zambia. Praise to thee, all one, strong and free.
Thank you so much. We will remain upstanding as we hear a word of prayer. Amai mukuka Patricia weranu kusogolo tufuna mpempere osa pempera mvizungu yae kuno nkusukuru lini kuno ni kurali tufuna mpempere mchitundu.
Natupepe twamitotela Jehova kalenga wa mulu nechalo tatelo mwatsimisho kwenda munchendesha pusana kwisa kumbika no nshitaipali ino nshita Jehova twasumbula shinali yenu lobukulu kwenu Jehova. Tatana bula ba Edgar Chagwalungu kubabika maboko yenu. Tatana mubarenda monse bikeni pokuboko kwenu kwa mushilo. Takwawa wapula pali mwe Jehova. Posopo banyanta Jehova. Twabika pwesengeli yenu no lubuto lwenu. Tatatwa wanela twakumala pali ino nchende Jehova. Twabula fyamakaya kwa Satana tuwakana mwishina lya kwa Yesu. Twabika polu buto lwenu Jehova. Na ino mwaka wa 2021 Jehova pa 12 August Jehova. Twabika Bachagwalungu maboko yenu. Tuama election yakabe peace free Jehova. Ukwabula imwe mwere sate titukwanishe. Lelo twabula fe imwe mweka Jehova kubana ifwe. Na bakateka babikeni mapindo yenu. Lakini bateke obutungulushi bwabo kufuma kulilesa. Twakana makaya kwa devo Jehova. Tata twaiteshina lyenu n'obukulu bwenu mweresa pali ino shita. Beni na bena munchende monsomo barenda Jehova. Lakini barange obukulu bwenu mwe Jehova. If chikukwe chabakwatalesa pabana babo. Lakini chipitilisha na 5 years ilesa komweresa. Twabika fe mwishina lyenu kupitila mwana Yesu Kristo mfumu Yesu. Amen.
Amen. Tingankaleko pansi. One Zambia. One Zambia. Akawawawa. Ziko mokwambiri. Without wasting much of the time, Ladies and gentlemen, join us as we welcome on the stage Chiti, Mimi Crazy, and Chikochali to perform Eulewere la Poyo in Edgar Chagwalungu. DJ.
Amina! Abla tabla! Edgar Chagwalungu ba! Bawato! Isala! Simba! Pula!
Women empowerment, youth empowerment, development ya talo, nobu ya lanchi wa Zambia. Tena yo takwa. Mole talika somone, eule wele la bu. Etika takwa lungu chagwa, eule wele la bu. Nakujina kutiga leza de biye bu, eule wele la bu. Wama yute baza de kwa somina, eule wele la bu. We are the winning team. Cash up.
A big hand of applause for Chikochali, Chiti, Mimi Crazy, Lomba kuno naona msowera lini. Intercity, Commander Francis Muchemwe, mkasowera. Azimaya choir, Mighty Make na group yanu, please. Can you prepare as we go straight into your next performance?
Giving birth to my firstborn son was a challenge, not because of maternal complications, but because the health center was so far away. Today, the newly built health center is only meters away. So with my second-born, it was so much easier. My aunt and my best friend were even there to witness her birth. As a mother, access to antenatal and postnatal health care is a priority. That is why I commend the PF government for bringing quality health care near our homes.
Zikomo. Manja azimai, apase koni manja azimai. Thank you so very much, PF Choir. I hope that those who are listening.
We may not be there yet, but we are not where we used to be. Gone are the days when we always had to travel out of the country for health procedures.
I remember when the whole family had to donate money so we could take Ambuya to South Africa for chemotherapy. Ish, we went through so much.
President
Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF government have built, expanded and upgraded multiple health facilities across the country, leaving no province.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. I wish to acknowledge the presence of my fellow speakers, who at the same time are members of Central Committee, Honorable Stephen Kapyongo, Honorable Dora Siliya, and Honorable Anthony Mumba. Kuli mwewo sendeti mwapolimpo mkwae. Mwewe na Zambia na leto mchinshi okufuma kube na mporokoso. Avena chishamwamba, avena mtitima, na avena mkanga ba miposha. Baleti mutwalileko mutende ku Lusaka. Kashi mkwae na miposha. Countrymen and women, this afternoon, I want to tell you why President Edgar Chagwa Lungu should be voted back into power on 12th August 2021. I will also tell you why he is the best presidential candidate in this race. Countrymen and women, President Edgar Chagwa Lungu is at the helm of our party. Our party is a pro-poor party. Party ya Balanda, party ya Nchushi, party ya Isamu kufumia abantu mu Bulanda. That is the party that I belong to, the Patriotic Front Party. And that is the party that President Edgar Chagwa Lungu presides over. When President Edgar Chagwa Lungu took over as president, he first of all began to understand the challenges of the poor people. Our constituency as Patriotic Front Party is the poor people. Therefore, it was instructive upon President Lungu to try and understand, how am I going to save these poor people? How am I going to deal with the issue of poverty? Immediately, he began to tackle the difficult questions. Ladies and gentlemen, previously, most politicians ducked this particular assignment that President Lungu took upon himself. President Lungu wanted to understand, can we find sustainable solutions to the problems of these poverty-stricken people that we are in charge of? President Lungu realized that to be able to tackle poverty, research showed that we needed to create sustainable employment. Creating sustainable employment meant that we needed to industrialize, come up with industries countrywide. And to be able to industrialize, we needed to attract investment. When President Lungu looked at that, he realized we had a very, very big task ahead of us. Because to attract investments, investors had their own demands. Baleti ushe mulefu atuke sevika ama famu kukalunguishi. Nge misebo shirikwi, nga matawa yalikwi, nga malaiti yalikwi. Balungu abati, pakupisho wafyobu, katwasu kefe wa investor walefuaya. Aba investor tulela ndapo, teba sungu veka yo, na ba investor besu locally. Pantu walungo cho walefuwa chakuti, tuwalalu shani ubuchishowe na Zambia. Echintu echo aventu avengi, kunu moku wale tina, bu politician wali wabu afya. Tulafoku Stephen ya kusekisha abantu apa benefit. Vano no abakwata courage ya kuchite fintu ifikeza sekesha abantu kuntanji. That is the candidate that we have in President Lungu, because he took on this very difficult task. We have a very courageous candidate in President Lungu. He took it upon himself. He began to build roads. He began to invest in the energy sector. He began to invest in water infrastructure. He put towers all over the country. And today, I am proud to mention to you, Nalipo Minister of Maina Batata, Nali Minister of Northern Province, Ifindela and the fishing car, Finto Futwale Bombelapo. I'm now proud to mention to you that through President Lungu and the Patriotic Front Party, we have now created a backbone. We have created a backbone upon which investment can thrive. And because of that backbone, in the near future, we will see a lot of investment in most of these areas. I want to tell you that Zambia has a lot of tourism assets, for instance. We are second to none in this region. But where is the investment that Kasaba Bay going to come from without roads, without towers, and without power? But President Lungu has sorted out all that. Go to Kalambo Falls, you're going to find a road there now. Go to Kasesha border. So now we are ready as a country to take off. President Lungu has created a backbone upon which this country is going to thrive, upon which development is going to come. That is the reason why Zambians must give it back to him to finish the plan that he started. Today, go to Kaputa. You will find the people there dancing because President Lungu has taken power there. He has taken water there. Come to Nsama, brand new district. Come to Mporokoso, things that we never saw. We're able to drive the same day and get into Mporokoso. An investor can come to Lumangwe and invest in tourism. An investor today can come and put a power plant at Lumangwe because President Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the Patrotic Front Party have set a backbone upon which investment can thrive. Subamada batata. Epo tulele nabu fiakuti. Ipate Yesu, ipate ya balanda. Pate ya konko kusumbula abantu kwa fiamubulanda. Eno balungu balebo mbafyonse. Fibali ishiwe okuti kwena. Kulina vambia abantu wabale chula. There are people who will still continue to live in abject poverty because historically we know the people in Northern Province, the people in Luapula and Muchinga, some of them were miners on the copper belt. They were miners on the copper belt. And due to that bad project called privatization, they lost their jobs. They began to suffer. Their children are also suffering today. President Edgar Chagwa Lungu said, Nshatile pantumu nandi, uyumulumendo tule chifi ya nyanangwe, ewaisa ona ulefia makampani na privatization, abantu na lawa sula kofi. President Lungu wachiku kwa tile, na lambo kubatangata na bene bantu, na lamu nefu na la afisa na bene bantu, pante yesu ya Patriotic Front Party, ipate isunga balanda. Edgar Chagwa Lungu waleta kwa social cash transfer. Muku pususha abantu, awa ale chula, pamulandua banensu bamo. Munyine fuomo tule chimfe nyana nkwelelo, uwa pangile ambafyayo. Wamana batata. Mwaumfuwa mwale tola ukata ufixe. We muntu apanga mafia, nokuti ufixe. Neo fine, chilingo mwana aya ufya nyefindo kutumana la lungisha. Musha kutumamu mfwa. We muntu wakanda wa nyefindu, waona ule fintu lelatio, au kama nfixe, kutumamu mfwa. Finsu wa fiona wirile. Nisto wa file kelefi. Wingabula kufiona ula bantu nga tabale chula. Imise pila shile chula lelo, vana nawe shikulu, balushile nchito, ide wale unalefe privatization. Waisa wabepeke chala. We muntu wabepeke chala tunevo expert. Ninevo expert muli corporate recovery. Mkwaenga mampele nchito na lalungisha economy. Au fix the economy. Bakupele nchito. Kanshi we muntu, echo wa ishiba sana kushtishe fintu. Chawae vele chalo kuti inefuna ishiba sana ni sales and marketing. Akali konseko mampela kushtisha. Watile no, I'm very good, I'm an economist, I'm good at corporate recovery. Kanshi we muntu ishilem kushtishe fintu. We muntu mawine because of you. The result of that, we are victims from the privatization process. Our parents, our grandchildren today have no jobs because of that bad project called privatization. The same gentlemen who are at the helm of this project are today coming to remind the same youths that you have no jobs. What a shame. What a shame. Bane insoni ebuntu. What a shame. You can't create a problem. First of all, if that gentleman really wants to come and rule this country, Bane insoni ebuntu, the first thing he must do is to apologize. He must be able to come open. He must be able to come open to the Zambian people to say, Bane, naliumwa iche, nalishla ishbe fintu. Lidaba mpele kuti bomba kwa pa, na mwene kwa kuti na bomba, lelo nsha, nalishla ishbe nchito yo. Limbino nshitanga mwa mpele chance, kuti na mwene foninga senguvila. But you just can't forget about what you did. Don't think Zambians who live today, including myself, have forgotten what you did. So what we are saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, because he cares for Zambia, he has gone ahead to put people on social cash transfer. Most of these are victims of that bad project called privatization. He's also looking at the youth empowerment. He realized that as he sets the backbone for investment and the growth of this economy, people will still need to survive. He has created some intermediate measures to ensure that we have youth empowerment, to ensure that our youths who are not in formal employment can have something to do. The old people who, as I said, were victims of that privatization process, can also continue to look after their children. That is the president that we're putting in place. A president, first of all, who has a vision for the future, who has created a backbone for this country, and at the same time does not leave anyone behind. He makes every Zambian count. That is why today when you go to Chiluvi, the people of Chiluvi are dancing. And they've sent a message through me to say, go and tell the people in Lusaka that in Chiluvi, we will vote for President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. The people of Lukasha sent a similar message. They have said the development that we have seen is unprecedented. Ladies and gentlemen, for most of you that may not know, the entire province, northern province, is a construction site. Go to Chiluvi, go to Luwingu, go to Lupotoshi, go to Kaputa, go to Mporokoso, go to Mbala, Pulungu and Senga. You will find feeder roads being worked on, secondary schools, water infrastructure, communication towers. Today, my grandmother does not need to panic. Because of the communication towers, I'll go to mobile money and send her money. This is because of the good policies of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. So I'm here to present a candidate that cares for the Zambian people. We've had a lot of challenges. This is a candidate that has really tried. Today, we are struggling with the sizes of certain constituencies. Take Mungwi, Malole for instance. Malole, you drive 300 kilometers across a constituency. When is that MP going to manage to deliver meaningful development in that particular area? President Lungu said, go to the people and consult. We went and consulted. The people of Malole, the people of Chiluvi, the people of Kasempa, the people of Munyilunga said, we have got to do delimitation. Let's amend the constitution to do the delimitation so that these constituencies can reduce in size for there to be meaningful development. What did our friends do? Our friends objected to that constitution amendment process. The UPND objected to the constitution amendment process. And because of them, today, Chiluvi remains the way it is. Because of them, today, Mungwi remains like that. Kasempa remains like that. I want to see, I want to hear what message the UPND will take to Mungwi. Because the people of Mungwi will continue to suffer because of the UPND. Had the UPND come forth and allowed the constitution amendment process, today, Mungwi would have 3 constituencies. Chiluvi would have 3 constituencies and 3 MPs. And there was going to be accelerated development in those areas. So because of the same people, the women here, our women sent us through President Lungu to say we only have 17% representation in parliament. Can we have a system that favors women? So can she ilingi mbanyine fwe mwa politics mlesangwa tamuleba full time yo mwatile sangeni nshira imbinga twafwa balungu abati kepusheni abantu twaipisha kona kumbi abata okwali benshira imbi ngeto abani nsu bachita ku Uganda no mwashala. There is a system where you have a safe seats, where you create an environment for women, youths and the disabled. And we propose that there must be a system that is not so rigorous and competitive for the women. The UPND vehemently objected that constitution amendment to Article 47, where we were proposing a mixed member proportional representation. Banyine Fuelelo, you would have had marketeers, a marketeer nominated by other marketeers representing them in parliament. That's what we wanted. We would have had people trading at the roadside being represented in parliament. The UPND objected to that. I want to see what message the UPND is going to have to bring to the women today. I want to hear Banamayo countrywide. Wait for them, ask them, Ukuti, what message do you have for us today when you've made sure that our representation in parliament still remains low? People living with disabilities, the population of people living with disabilities is 1.7 million in this country. 10% of our population. chilamuntu muno twikera alikwatako bululu wakwe wakulishako chilundo cha mubili. We said, look, there is no representation in parliament. Why can't we create safe seats for them so that they can have representation in parliament? And our brothers and sisters objected, vehemently fought this constitutional amendment. I want to hear what message they have for those marginalized people. I want to hear what the UPND are going to tell the disabled in society. What message are they going to have for them? And what message are they going to have for the youths? Because there is no representation of youths in parliament. The many challenges the youths are facing today would have been resolved by amending the constitution. They went on radio, they went on TV to say butane is evil because they thought by not passing butane, President Lungu will not be a candidate. Today, President Lungu is our candidate. With or without butane, President Lungu is our candidate. Other further attempts, futile attempts, eligibility, this, that, President Lungu is still there. But I'm not surprised. This party is dead scared of President Lungu. They've actually conceded defeat. Kale Valusa, they will try by all means. They're trying to build a case today. The UPND are trying to build a case today. They are causing violence. There are accusations on the judiciary, accusations on the legislature. Everybody is insulted every day. Accusations on the executive. If for sure they thought they were ready to rule, their conduct would have reflected somewhere. They would have shown that they respect institutions of governance. But they are fighting each and every institution, each and every day. But we know what their plan is. Their plan is to try and cause chaos now. Try to prepare. They're talking about voter registration. When in Parliament, Honorable Kapyongo, he was on the floor every time encouraging us to go to the constituencies and help in the voter registration exercise. I went and camped in Mporokoso. I was camped there. That's how we got those numbers. Many other MPs were camped in their constituencies, in our strongholds. And we've got the numbers now. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the numbers now. Numbers do not lie. We have the numbers now. Not only do we have the numbers in our strongholds, we also have penetrated their strongholds. There is no magic in this election. There is no magic. For all those doubting Thomases, be told now, don't be cheated. Do not be cheated. We've got our numbers now. And do you know what? Do you know what? This time we are clever. We will ensure that our people stand up to go and vote on the 12th of August. Because the roads in constituencies have been worked on. The transportation, people's movements up and down to go and vote will no longer be a challenge. I can guarantee your bottom dollar, the result is known. The UPND know very well also that they are losing this election. They are trying to create an environment. They are running back and forth to talk to foreign friends. Say this, say that, no, the electoral process, no, the register, that. They want to create a situation where when they lose, the government should be forced to go into government of national unity. The UPND, that will not happen. We're winning this election, we're winning it clean, without going into even the second round. You had your chance. You had your chance. You failed to bring the numbers on the voters' roll. You were busy dancing and drinking wine, opposing butane. You were supposed to have been in your constituencies, registering people. Busy dancing and fighting, saying, no, Article 52, if you amend Article 52, President Lungu will stand. If you don't amend it, he will not stand. Today, the most problematic article in our constitution is the same Article 52. We told them, because we're in government, we said, look, this is going to give us problems. What are we seeing now? Every other day, either a candidate resigns or somebody has died, we are going back for nomination. And we said it. We said this is going to create problems for us. We said this is going to create problems for us. And we thank God that we've been vindicated. We've been vindicated. So the message that I have for the UPND is that you are standing against a very strong candidate in the name of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. A president with a proven record. A president with courage. A president who cares for the Zambian people. A president who has demonstrated that he can make very difficult decisions with a straight face. A president who has navigated this country through a very difficult time during this COVID-19 period. a president who has saved many Zambian lives as it is today. We therefore wish to announce to the Zambian people that you are safe in the hands of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. For those that were doubting, he has demonstrated clearly that he's a president that can deliver to the Zambian people. He has delivered development to the Zambian people. He has increased numbers in social protection. Look at how many people are accessing social cash transfer today. Many of us today, it's sendo wa mshako wa lungu. Tuwale tumendala makuwa fiashi every month to look after the old people in those areas. Today, they're looking after themselves because President Edgar Lungu has put social cash transfer there. How many farmers are accessing the Farmer Input Support Program? Because President Lungu said, as I'm building the economy, as we are creating this backbone for the economy, we need to ensure that we are food secure. And to be food secure, he made sure that over 1 million farmers are accessing farmer input support from the government. Ala twamulisa mfwe tatupwa kusala. If you are chitava lungu, if you are fulisha, you can't compress it in one day. I needed 2 days to explain what President Lungu has done. But for now, I'll give a chance to my colleagues to speak. Thank you very much.
Manja, 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 manja. Thank you so much, Honorable Brani Mundubile. Awe mwalavira. Enzena ma province yangati ya tatu. Southern, Western, Northwestern. Lomba ku Western province, techita ma by-election 25. 25 from 2016 to 2021. Ayo ma by-election yenze ma city yao yawa kansela yao ba United Party for National Bitterness. After kuchita ma by-election yali 25 tebanyankula 18 tabapoka ma city ku Western province kweka. Lomba alovere pani kuliye ni evenzo la vira Brani Mundubile. Seo tina Copper Belt, tina Lusaka, tina Northern, tina Luapula, tina Central, tina Mchinga, tikasasi tikapo Eastern Province, my election 20 hours ni Shalungu Pampando. Manja, 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 zimai na zibambo. Wonsaba mule mona vana bakwa lungu ye. Wonsaba mule mona vana bakwa lungu ye. Vana bakwa lungu ye. Wonsaba mule mona vana bakwa lungu ye. Zikomo, zikomo, zikomo. We have one bulldozer. Kantanshi 1. He was a member of parliament as an independent member of parliament 2016 to 2021. Wasebenza ona uta ulusumpuko uyantanshi chitukuko chiri mulalungu wawera kuzoyimirira pa Patriotic Front. Honorable Anthony Mumba, incoming member of parliament for Kantanshi. Uyo, alebwele la posori.
Hello, Isa Mukulande Chinka, therefore, and I name Posheko Vanandi Abanshirenabo, Mukulanda Chalo Chesu, Mukulanda Navena Zambia, Pali general election, direct quarter, Sheriff Inshuku 22. So, na later na Matotolok Mokantanshi, Moisen once. Thank you very much, organizing committee. Thank you very much to the campaign team, for His Excellency the President, Edgar Chagwa Lungu, as well as for the running mate, Professor Nkandluo. I think that it is very clear that the opposition has no message for the people of Zambia. Kuti tuamo na fie, mofo bale tola ukanga kabamba, tutuamo na fye na message tabakwete mwewe na Zambia ibusheni elo mwabikile po PF mu 2011 mu 2011 chino chalo wali ukuchita boast at nchi fastest growing economy 7% growth rate but abantu tabakweta maskulu abantu tabakweta ma hospitals abantu balenda intamfu itali no imisebo abantu na feeder road tabayishive echalele ngano kutrati maruro constituencies ngefine na kwata maruro wards yatatu abantu pakutubende fye kuisafika na polling center na ngubende fye kuya kuchipatala chale becha fyangaishi ubu teko bwenu bwa PF bwabelo kwebati 7% growth tufuiro kuitwala mu bantu abantu ngatababe abakwata obumi usuma ngatababe abasambilila nishikino chalo tapalo kotuleya. So number one, PF said, let us take this 7% into people, especially those in the rural areas. If it were mbilo kumona, bamba rombo kula, amaskulu, bambo kula, nefpatala. Nganabula in a constituency andika antanshi, under the 650 health posts. Balu itupurikishano mbali ni hapa, aba nesu kuliabale ya Mkongo, wenkondo, pakutuka kwate for health service. Nomba muli 10 years ya PF na abeshi bano kuishwa na kantanshi ukweba ati PF yatuletera ififintu mupepe ama school fees mwe bantu bakwalesa na mulabata ama school fees ya lundwe chine bagateka weswaiti galungu bebere no tefya chifuiro kuba lelo secondary school ni 200 kwacha ku primary school ni 0 ushakwana techi mwe bati bobu teke bula msakameno aba nesu mu opposition na tumona tapali efu bakwete okulanda po yo balela ndati bakesa ingisha abantu buticha ngabakesa ingisha abantu buticha maskulu nshibakula omo baticha bakamkubomo bakesa ingisha abantu bunasi ma hospitals nshibakula emo bakabika abantu na beshi bamwe bana Zambia okutirati PF na itupekanisha fiance ifu wetu kesa fye mkusalula nomba na ifu na tuima paswe kati tafya chitike anti utupwirikishe onso mulimo tulefu anombo kuikata kuli economy mwe bantu bakwalesa tumoneni oko tulefu moko elo PF yaishile kwata a very sad event basata batusha baediga chagwa lungu mu PF tabali abantu abale umfuika nokulanda sana iyo bali fe bama actions ba taking over chino chalo kwali ukutalalika abantu abatemene basate chine kwali kutalalika echipani mwali utufi nkolonkolyo 3 months later baba president icha number 1 icha shechiti imitengo shakopa shapona mu 2015 bayi mokuya kukopa belt kulia constituency yandi kulia baya na abasungu babe bati yo tapali uwalalu sa poinchito balefika kuno ku Lusaka bashimaine nchito yapo ba president babwerera mu drawing board chino chalo chifure chakwate migodi shachiko bakutila atinga kupona na abantu noti awa muisana abekala mu boardroom kuma UK kuma Glencoe kuma South Africa balesa lefo tfiro kuikala nafe bagomfa firo kufola fiance fe ba president basungira tapapitira akashita twakwata fuel shortage abe nabachita produce fuel bamona kutala tumutengo wapona pa market mutengo nga wapona demand ilife chimochine ninshi pala ba problem so bachita reduce supply bakutira mutengo nine ko pamulo twakwata ma fuel shortage babombera po ba PF itonga president Edgar Lungu ukufumapo twasa kwata nomba load shedding 12 hours bambina mulabo kwikala kusuma kula kola bambina mulabo ukwikala kusuma kula jani kula kola twalikwete insta muno muchalo olo abantu abafuiro kubomba mu bakery mu salon mu barber shop n'abana bakuma school barefuro kula lemba ma homework yabo panstay lingile pantu tapuli amalaiti ichona chova Edgar Lungu batashani babika pa drawing board lelo twakwata load shedding as low as 3%. But ngamwalola shamu 2016 twaleposa $40 million pamweshi abali ba energy minister ni abali apa ba Dora Siliya kuti basala ndaponapo twafumapo twasayingila muli drought na floods again ife fiyalengo okutilati imitengo ya bunga mitengo ya fintu yambo kubeya ile selenkana ba president basaye bokutati no, we have to invest in drought resistant seed. Lelo muno mu region 44 variety seeds to export from zero to a import kale. This is under the leadership of President Edgar Lungu. Tumwaba totela kwa mkwai. Twafuma po nala spawila twasa kwata COVID. Yo COVID nayo kwabati imigodi bala isalat care and maintenance pantu bulwele na bushu. Waba futi ati yo abantu tabafire kula nomba kumachito. Ufire kula bombera kumayanda. Ero finabe ngifie watemu ikwa wesu abatushire. Ubu bulwele bwasaya globally. Bonse takwaba nangu mwakwata health system ya makashani nangu mwabu wa America. Mweba aba number 1 superpower. Bonse kwaba affected. Abantu amachito yapwa. Mwalimu na ululu wakana vika bwino efintu ulapo America na president alu sapamulandua COVID. Pantu ale kana elo bale mweba. Chimwana wa opposition lero. Dionse kuulira yota kwa yama election bale bebesha COVID. Abantu bale tusha. Government yaba Edgar Lungu ya ikala futi. Ifikala chimbu tefikala inama ikata. Na tuwakonkeresha aba. Tuwalaipa ya bantu. Lelo nangu tukwate infosha lekana shiriko shinonshiko. Na tumuno kweba ati nifuwe nenga tatupose kwa mama. Ukuichingilira. Ukulachita mask. Ukulachita everybody tapa ba Antonio Mwanza. Ukweba ati banchite sanitize. Na social distancing. No kukano kwenda when it's not necessary. It became apparent that really, as a government, there was need for measures to be taken. So I think that when you look at even now, the entire world economy, you agree with me that Zambia in a recession at negative 4.2%, how much to kwenate to kwanish? Bakateka tabai keref, baiba tuchite economic recovery plan. Tuwebe naba neso donors vese, bai kere bonse muno muine, kweba tino as PF, tuwalachi finef. Tuwalachi tati smart wama debts, tuwalachi njama taxes, tuwalachi kati hapa pusana pakutila tichino chalo, chambio kwenda, abantu bambio kwata machito. This economic recovery plan, the idea is that by next year, we should grow by 3.2%. Yes, that might not be good enough, but it is better than being in negative 4.2%. All these are initiatives that you cannot get from the opposition because the opposition knows ati abatu wala pampula fie ifi ashara tukesa tola nomba na mwalishi watu mwalibomba tumwaleka shani ba opposition bamibepe n'obufumfu ntungu tabakwete ponero chimwe cha kusonto cho bachita nishi mwingachitirefe echo twimina paswe koko ebati we will tell the people the truth and nothing else but the truth.
Masosa sana
So, na mwishwa ngole shimika itishinkane nshitailenda na maka kaibili kubikamo bantu itishinkata kwa abo kutilati wala afisa mwechili chonse. So if we MPF after realizing kwa taba nesu festival etwe batiyo inkongole na abafisha ba PF nangu bakulire emisebo nangu bakulire amasukulu nangu balele ngange efire elo tuletamba pa chitunji pali investment babika muli ICT lelo nendala makuti watuma pa mobile phone ayonse ma achievements ya PF they are opposition hiyo So bafuma kunkongole besile nomba kumutengo wefu yakulya. Bakateka wesu again made it very clear. We cannot have food prices going on like this. That's why the FISI program has been able to at least address the cost of meal. But even in all these investments that we are making, today, one of the sectors that is competing consumption of white maize, which never has ever happened in this country, is the livestock sector. Today, we have seen huge investments, both private and from government, in the livestock sector. You will find that today, the PF government, through the leadership of Edgar Lungu, they decided to say we need to deal with the issue of the fish deficit. Today, we have seen huge investments in that area. We signed agreements, for example, with Saudi Arabia to start exporting goats. We signed agreements within the private sector to try and ensure that, livestock products are the ones from Zambians that go into our shelves. Yes, there are certain agreements that we made because we have been too ambitious, and that caused the supply to be outstripped by demand, and therefore that pushed the prices up. But that is how we are supposed to live. We must depend on our own products, and that's what COVID has taught every country around the world. Mufwilo kuleta produce if yenu enough to feed yourselves and export. Now, as you produce enough, the price starts to come down. If I can touch that tuamona FISI program, yes, ngefindela ndana imwe nama farming inputs na Africa kali. Abantu olobale sombula amasaka 200, 300 kairinda bafu wako nokusenda na alibeba natibane kwa linsoketa kwa fuile muntu ayama taba mukwete tamufuile mwashitisha fiance yo mufuile mwashapo enough for the next farming season nga mwachitefyo tamwakalea mu Shoprite tamwakalea mu Choppies mkufuwa yo bunga aya emano ya buteko ubu misakama. This is the sort of response a government that cares about its people can only solve your problems. And one of the major problems that we have is our huge consumption of maize. That's why mwene kwasa wana masola milling plant yalabaye belati ngwatu wale saka ya mataba tabafuile no kuchaja iyo kaili fili yafi fumako figaga fili fili mwona balashitisha nomba ya makampani akulu na mafama zara kalamba ayakwata ifinatila ndako fia livestock. So mwamu no kuteko kwa bati wali ba methodical mkutontonkanya na mkutitefintu. This is why for us in PF we have said we do not believe in fixing anything. We actually believe in building. We have built a strong foundation and we will continue building on this foundation. We are proud that today people can have clean water. We are proud that today we can have dams that have made it possible for water and sanitation to improve. If I could have come free, I could have come in area. I may share where in a bin state ipi. Uko pitila muni ba Edgar Lungu, uyu mulungu leisa, ni ishbasa ina, ama contract, ama kalati ta supply, ama works, aya kutita improve amenshi, kumulonga water. Fueba antu ifa tuwala kwata in the next 24 months, amenshi aya ngimumushi. Echo na afuka minena kuli ba president, na afuka na kuli ba running mate, kuwewa tinama bills ya abantu. Iri investment mwala leta close to $100 million. Yarama bill aya menshi, but mwela walefuma. Mwala leta council, bebe la titwala tontonkanya. Nishitu mwakani mkwanda tuyo kuteko tabu mtontonkanya. Tabu msakamana. Efyo tulela andapo, nga mwamona list, yaba opposition na nomba. There is nothing about improving infrastructure that is being talked about there. Because infrastructure, bari bombera pokariba PF, bari mibe pati infrastructure misebo iyo na maskulu awe ngamenshi nge fiture chitalelo bale tutamba mufitunshi na kumishimoshimo kutakwali na nguchimo kumbi kumishita kwali no kulanda pa phone lelo abantu bale tutamba pa phone lelo abantu bale mfo radio pa phone lelo bale tumfolo tulelanda Era turebe busha ifinto for PF yachta. And the most important thing you can do in life is always to remind. Na Bible Yesu tuambo kuiberenga history fiaba iche mpeka fe ne history yako for pantu Yehova alishwatu muntu alikwata ichilafi. Twarite mokulaba. Efira na chamala pakubala tukwikala kuno kutatashani kula kola. Lelo nati kwata madio karajwe. Gufuma fe ku Charleston ukwisa isapano twale shupikwa. Muma basi ngana wikala. Mumi yoto ngana wikala. Ila yonse te fiwe ya le bomba. Nomba PF ngayamye bati mo mana in your pocket. Ushengo wale bomba fiwe ya 20 kwacha. Ukufuma ku Charleston kufika pano. Ino insta fiwe le bomba ya 10 kwacha. Te kueba ati ninji swati kuliba mnawa mfumfu ntungubala ndati fiwe ya 20 kwacha. Ni example ninji chwa mta muishi ba opposition. Ni example ndemi pela. Ukweba ati yalo tuwale po sen state alipa msebo. Na fiyo tuwale bomfe yale fula. No mbeli tule po sen state ino pa msebo. Na fiyo ino no tule bomfe. If tule what isn't that more money in your pocket? I talked about food prices everywhere in the world. Even the report that came out yesterday was talking about food prices rising by different percentages. What this means is that all countries now are going to take very little steps in allowing export of food until their food prices stabilize. If we depend upon South Africa, now meaning a matraki ya rayon se alaisa kulumkulete efintu mashop yesu. Yala kokolo quiz. If you allow chitika ni nombali nefe mitengo shala nini. Utumwa yabati neti galungu. Ewe ebera chibando kuluwa bantu kuli. But because we are part of the global village, we are interdependent on one another. What we are doing in Zambia will certainly affect Congo. What Congo is doing will affect us. What is happening in Botswana will also affect us. That's the huge interdependence that we have. Now, who take who inga tontonga nyabuino win with you? Ning for that your exchange rate ikapona from 23 to 10 kwacha. Okay, nga yapona. Nga abakaluse mpia. Aba abike mpia $dollars. Abakalusa. Nga bena mule batontonga nyabu. Ifintu fionse fifuire fia kwata intantiko. Echo MPF tukwatire for recovery plan. Na abasungu obo tubomba na bo muchalo bali berenga tapa bapo wa isusha yo, because that plan is meant to help us get out of recession. Na chilanda pamigod. What has happened now is that we have acquired Mupane mine. We have acquired Mupane mine, and when we acquired it, vale seka ba opposition. Iyo tatwa kwata capacity. Ni wana ne wafiro kwata capacity. Abena muisa e wafiro kwata capacity. Lelo Mupane ile bomba from April by Chira acquire vale for ile amuke and maintenance abena zambenji to shipwe. Iliba kateka wafumine ko ulabushiku bali shabapela na instruction yakwe bati tulefwa ya mubapele na terminal benefits yabo ilibala le kamuglenko bala ingira muzeti CMIH ina inshilefwa ukutanga filia abanandi bali pawa kwete yo opportunity yakule making sure that abantu bafola ati yo twale ni muma pension fund aba mu opposition na bali shibeli ashirisha fo kwa lumbula mashina bali shibabe no fuba chitekura mukozi kulwancha bakateka bebelawe ifwe pantu PF dora imono kutira mu future echipanichi kabako chine etulefanga twaisa mumfurira nangu mukitwe waisa mukitwe bati ama benefits bapeni ifindela nda na bamba no kwikala tumwafo kufunya ko umuntu le tontonga nyevi tete mufwaye yo efira mushwe mbaturanda tukapanya neyo wikete na muikata edigalungu muikatilileni mutungulileni let PF by 12th of August cross over so that we deal with the issue of the economy. We know what needs to be done. The opposition, what they have are stories and love letters and crying that the elections will be rigged. There will be no election to rig. We will win because the people of Zambia know that the PF has worked, and we are running one of the most coordinated campaigns because we believe in the people of Zambia. I believe in the people of Zambia. The president has directed us. Mule pepa, mule imani na kwa bantu. Pantu chalo. chalo cha lesa litemuishi abane small opposition ero kwa iseba uta debate pama new ministries bakateka batu wa for religious affairs abane small opposition bakana at it's a waste of money kwa libo kupose mpia kulilesa lelo tu alikwata ila ministry because we believe in God and it will be God that this country will continue to save. I thank you and God bless you, and come 12th of August vote for Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Thank you.
Manja 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 akawawawa awe alavira. Thank you so much, Honorable Anthony Mumba, the incoming member of Kantanshi. Awe mwamine mwakambira sogoleri. You remember now ngati mwayanga na opposition, you never hear them kukamba to vote for us, we will build schools, we will build hospitals, we will build roads. Because vonsevo ba PF wanachita bwanji banamanga. So banachinja na stance. Kunali no ni Moses wa Mzambia. Aona CV Sevenza achinja no Obama wa Mzambia. Aona CV Sevenza ankalayo bali at Snoop Dogg. K-Figo, Judio, Prince Love, D-Boy, DJ, alewele lapo na fishibikwa.
Nilungu Mubuato tutwale kuilungu Wesele nkumbu Kateka musumo wa chikuku Aleteka Nakabidi na futi aleteka Aleteka Nakabidi na futi aleteka Aleteka Nakabidi na futi aleteka Aleteka Nakabidi na futi aleteka
Thank you so much. A big round of applause for Prince Love, D-Boy, K-Figo, and Judio. Thank you so much. Nyumba ni mzimai. Nyumba ni mzimai. Pariye mzimai, pariye nganda, ni zina tiara. The next speaker is an example to all of us. Some of us have got daughters. And she's an example that if you work hard, that if you don't listen to what people are saying, but you focus on what you know is right, you can achieve mountains. She's an example and an encouragement to all the young girls and the women out there. That kuseni ningauke nafaka ndalama na fyatira mbra za tomato yabana kunganda kumasoti mazulo ningarute na yapa buko na yopunzira chinzungu mveku mveku. Honorable Dora Siliya.
Hey. Uyo 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 alebwele la posori. Uyo 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 nilesa wasalire sori.
Thank you. Antonio namletela ni moni wa mafuta kutoka kupetauki. Na welalero mao hai. Thank you. In the national anthem, we say, free men we stand under the flag of our land, Zambia. And I think sometimes when we are singing that part of the national anthem, we don't stop for a minute to think what it means. Because the role of the government is to provide this identity to us as a people, one Zambia, one nation. And at this time of elections, don't say tiriakali, as we say in Petauke, to see what promises various political parties are making. I've only come to talk about one party here, mine, the mighty Patriotic Front, and its presidential candidate, President Edgar Lungu, the running mate, Professor Nkanduluo, all the members of parliament who are standing on the Patriotic Front, the whole Zambia, the mayors, the council chairmen, and indeed the councillors. I want to extend my greetings to all the people who've joined us today. In Southern Province, thank you for joining us, Mlikaboto. In Western Province, we are happy that you have joined us. Northwestern Province, Northern, Wapula, Muchinga, Copperbelt Province, Central Province, of course Eastern Province, and in particular Petauke. I know they are all very, very eager and indeed watching us today. In fact, this is another example, my colleagues, of the PF being ever ready. Because the reason we're having this virtual rally is because the PF was ever ready. I think we must give ourselves a big applause and congratulate the mighty Patriotic Front. I was asked to talk about the state of the economy, to talk about the cost of living, and to talk about the elephant in the room, jobs for young people. And I think my colleague Anthony Mumba gave a good synopsis of what has happened in this country in the last 10 years. I'm speaking to you in this room, but I'm also speaking to our audience, Zambia, that has joined us, and even beyond. What has happened in this country in the last 10 years? It is actually almost a miracle that we have continued to manage as a country and the economy has not collapsed. Because if you look at what happened in 2014, when the copper prices totally collapsed from over $10,000 to $2,000 to $1,000 a ton, the government lost a lot of revenue to provide services to the country. Soon after, when President Lungu became president in 2015, we had the energy crisis. I recall, as Anthony Mumba said, almost $40 million a month we're importing energy in the country to keep us going. 2016, 2017, we had the agriculture crisis with the army worms. I was again the Minister of Agriculture. 2017, 2018, we had floods. We had another drought. I believe in numbers. Government was feeding almost 2.4 million people in 2019. And to manage to feed those people, the money was coming from somewhere. It's monga panganda. Kapena lero, mwenzi mweka tundalama, ati mkagulire mwana nsapato. Wachitika matenda, kakandalama. You say, please, my son, my daughter, I can't you buy you the shoes now? Because you have to use that money for other things. If there's a death, you'll have to relook at your budget at home. And this is what was happening in this country. And of course, 2020, 2021, we've had the mighty one, the COVID. And I think that when the opposition have been talking about this government and saying we have not done anything, I think they need to take a moment to step back and look at the challenges this country has gone through the last 10 years. It has taken bold leadership to stay afloat. It has taken decisive leadership to say we are going to borrow because we cannot fold our hands when the copper prices collapsed. We have a country to build. And that's what we did in the last 10 years. The greatest challenge now, and we want to own this narrative as the PF, is the depreciation of the kwacha. Of course, we understand that this has been exacerbated by the pressure we have from paying the external debt. But the opposition has also played a very big role. On one side, they say they can fix it. In the night, they are busy calling international media and saying things are so bad in this country. The economies in the world run on confidence. And they are the same people who have tried everything possible to erode the confidence of this country so that offshore investors don't come to this country. The good news is that nobody has believed their tale, because we have seen that people are beginning to believe in Zambia again. Last year, the trade surplus was 12.2% of the GDP. They thought it was not possible, but it is possible indeed. We are a fuel importing country, and fuel prices are purely a function of the international oil prices and, of course, the dollar rate. And so when we have challenges in terms of kwacha depreciation, we expect that there will be an impact on food prices. There will be an impact on transport cost. But I think God loves this country. Azimai tupempela. Because for me, it has been extremely shocking that it's when the world is going through the worst crisis, especially because of the COVID, that we have seen copper prices begin to get back to the prices they were in 2014. It can only be because of God. And that's why His Excellency did not hesitate to declare the 18th of October a day of national prayer, so that we do not forget that sometimes it is the little miracles and the big miracles that are helping us to get through. COVID. The treatment for a patient of COVID in this country cost 120,000 kwacha. And I recall very well, I was one of the first people to have announced that I had COVID last year. And they laughed. And they laughed. But I am happy once again that my party, the Patriotic Front, ever ready, we have just imported in the country 4.4 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccines. Because we know that for these economic activities and social activities to continue, we need a healthy nation. And for COVID, it has affected all economies, as my colleagues have already alluded to. In the last 1 year, with the crisis that we've been experiencing, President Lungu showed such boldness. Right now, we are supporting over 632,000 households on cash transfer. Numbers don't lie. By the end of this year, we want to support over 994,000 households cash transfer. In Petauke, we call it Ndala Mazamwa Sauka. And I was being with the women the last 2 months. They have told me and convinced me that definitely they have no intention of voting for anybody else except the Patriotic Front and President Edgar Lungu, because a responsible government looks after those who are vulnerable in society, especially when things are tough. That's when you even lift their hand. In the last 1 year, the government has supported 1,500 aquaculture farmers with over 273 million kwacha. Figures don't lie. Figures don't lie. As we are not talking about fixing it, because we have already fixed it. In the livestock sector, we understand that in agriculture we have to diversify. We've been focused on FISIP, but again, this government, being bold, having bold leadership, we said we have to grow the livestock industry. With $12 million, we've supported over 28,000 households with chickens, with cows, with pigs, with goats. And President Lungu did not segregate. He made sure that in Southern Province, in Western Province, in Northwestern Province, in Wapula, in Muchinga, in Northern, in Eastern, in Central, in Copperbelt, all those who were supposed to receive this support have received this support. The elephant in the room, and we are happy to talk about it ourselves as PF, it's jobs for our young people. One of the most important roles of government is to ensure that everybody at least gets the same chance. How they end is up to them, but we must all have the same chance. This is why the policy of this government is that there must be a school at least within 4-kilometer radius. There must be a clinic at least within 4-kilometer radius so that our people can access these social services. We have invested in higher education. When we're taking universities to provinces, our friends said, look what they're doing, because they thought education should just be for the people of Lusaka and the Copperbelt. But again, bold leadership said we have to take higher education to rural areas so that families can afford tertiary education. Going forward, a good foundation has already been laid. It amazes me, my colleagues, when I keep hearing people saying, this infrastructure, are we going to eat roads? We are literally going to eat roads, because if we have to move from here to Eastern Province for any business activity, we are happy that the Great East Road was actually fixed. And now it is a highway that we can move so easily. We are literally going to eat roads because of that road. The triangle, in the growth triangle, Mozambique, Malawi, and Zambia has increased. 20 years ago, you'd not even see one truck on the road in Eastern Province. Now, it is actually a challenge to be driving on that road because of the trade that is going on in this growth triangle. Bantu waku Petauke, bantu waku Eastern Province, akuti sensa lesilini, say to Lima, but they are saying we want to continue with PF so that beyond the maize now, beyond the soya beans, beyond the sunflower, they want to see value addition and factories, because that is where the jobs for the young people are going to come from. We know there is phosphate in Mumba. We are saying with PF we can trust, we can believe that there's going to be every effort made so that we have fertilizer produced in Eastern Province so that Bantuwasu can continue to do what they do best, and that is agriculture. We also know that His Excellency President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, one of his biggest promises for the next 5 years, and he has already demonstrated his commitment to this, is prioritizing small businesses, medium businesses. And he has continued to call upon the banking sector in this country to take a chance on these small businesses, because that's where the jobs for Zambians are going to come from. Businesses such as clothes making, businesses such as food production, we know that is where the jobs for the Zambian young people are going to come from. So, colleagues, we have hope. We know that the worst is over. We know that the last 10 years have been the most difficult, but we know that together going forward, especially in the next 5 years, we have a lot of hope because we have a plan. The plan is to increase agriculture production. The plan is to increase value addition. The plan is to make sure that we support our farmers. The plan is to make sure that we diversify. The plan is to make sure that we offer relief to civil servants. That's why we are all talking about the debt swap, because this is a caring government that understood that debt was strangling the budgets of our civil servants, and we've been able to support them. So colleagues, I'm only here to present the PF. We believe that the others are just there, as we say, mchinsenga, kuti yai, paulendo luonse pakuba baloperekejai, those who escort you. So we know that we are on firm ground, we are on terra firma as PF, because we are dealing with the issues of the economy that are tough to deal with, and we are not shy to talk about them ourselves, because we know that the cost of living is high, and this is why the president is determined to make sure that as we go forward, we must provide hope to our people by increasing economic activity, especially in terms of luring investors to Zambia. Our message to our colleagues is that every time they take this effort to go and sing on the international platform about how bad Zambia is, they are hurting the people of Zambia. Because the people out there know that this is a country that is peaceful, this is a country ripe for investment, this is a country that has a critical mass of educated people. So it is beyond us that people who will be asking for votes from the Zambians are the same ones who want to hurt the Zambians by going internationally and always posting bad stories about our country. This is why I am convinced, as we say again, Antonio Kupetauke, kuti yai azimai olanga, azimai okaulisha. It is the women of Zambia that the opposition denied the chance to be part of leadership, especially at parliamentary level. It is us, the women of Zambia, that are ganging up together and saying, we know whom we can trust with our leadership, because he has demonstrated it already. His first vice president was a woman. He has now nominated another running mate, a female, in Professor Nkanduluo. That is leadership you can trust. That is leadership that leads by example. That is leadership that is saying, you, the women, are part and parcel of this journey, so let us work together. Besides, we are already in government. Ushoka wamkati palanga kuchosemo. Mchinsenga tikuti mwino wa mwanakazi nuwa alimkati. Valali kulukolo ou batiala opanga chongo. Thank you very much.
Akawawawa. Mwine wa mwanakazi ni ulali mkati. Ai. Ni chinsenga icho. Thank you so much, Honorable Dora Siliya. Very clear message. Seo vizungu tu visibalini tufuma kwa kalingalinga. Seo va GDP tu visibalini. Seo tuziba kuti pala penze maera pali Shoprite. Na ex-girlfriend wangu osebenza mwamene mula. Seo tuziba kuti paja penze maera pali Debonia. Nikakana 200 kwa chati maenda na madamu tachita chipale na karomansi. Ndiye GDP yasu. Seo 5 kwa chatu $1 tuizibalini. Seo tuziba kuti time ya 5 kwa chatu $1 kwenzetia la UTH imo. Lomba mula alungu mulivipatala 4 specialized. Mula alungu seo tuziba 5 kwa chatu $1 kwenzetia la ma public university ya 3. Lero mula alungu muliali 7. Seo tuona vintu vutili navo notiva mapepa yai. The next speaker, we call him as Jet Li. Ba Francis, ba Intercity, ba Dario, oziba why we call him Jet Li. Tiger. And I know the song he likes before he comes. I'll start it for him. Uyaleti, uyaleti, lungu takateke, chimunyonge, 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 chimunyonge. Uyaleti, uyaleti, lungu takateke, chimunyonge, 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 chimunyonge. Please allow me to call on stage Honorable Stephen Kapyongo, former Minister of Home Affairs.
Tumoreko Simbo. Wazambia. Na totele chine. Tawachamba bwino akalumbo kandi bishevo twamba vile. Weuleti lungu takawine iwe. Chikunyonge. Ozonda lungwa yonde. Ozonda lungwa yonde. Zambia, thank you so much. I want to start by congratulating my dear colleagues who have spoken before me, the two members of Central Committee, Honorable Dora, Siliya, Honorable Mundubile, and our colleague, the aspiring candidate for Kantanshi. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow citizens who are listening to us either on radio, watching us on various television stations. First of all, we as Patrotic Front are always leaders. And these platforms that we are seeing today, this innovation that our campaign team has come up with, supported by His Excellency the President and the Secretary General, have not happened by accident. This was a visionary future that Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu embarked upon. 2016, he came to Parliament to launch what was called Smart Zambia. Smart Zambia, which entailed that we are going to have smart solutions. Today, we are able to communicate like this. We were able to do business in Parliament, legislating even in the midst of the COVID-19. Our national broadcaster is now digital. Why? Because that's what President Edgar Lungu wanted. And this is a milestone. So kudos to you, the campaign team that has come up with this innovation. Mukwai ala mufiro kushibokutila ubutunguru shibumo lesa eupela. Na fino fina fitunshi tule bonfya lelo. Nicho wa Edgar Lungu bali kwete chimonwa. Tawa ishibokuta kukawaka kishishika COVID. Lelo tulipano tulelanda nechalo, tulelanda na abantu, panchani fionse fitule bonfya. Mirimo yaba Edgar Lungu. It's a milestone. Abanandi ba landa sana pampali ashiria buya intentional bunoshi. They've spoken about the economy, they've spoken about infrastructure development, they've also spoken about why we should trust one Edgar Chagwa Lungu to continue being our leader. And they've been spot on. Because out of all these that are contesting the presidency, like my dear colleague said, Honorable Siliya, some of them are just escorting. But for me, some of them are supposed to be competing with us in constituencies. Because some of them cannot even win as MPs. Ababambiave minine na ba president wa Edgar Chagwa Lungu tulingiro kulasha shala na bomma constituency. Bambiteti ba wina na bu MP. Nango na bu councillor. Now, why Dr. ACL? In Dr. ACL, we have a visionary leader, we have a unifier, peace promoter, we have a trustworthy leader who treats every Zambian equitably. He has taken development to each part of Zambia, all the corners of Zambia. I've seen some portion of development. My dear colleague here is able to come here from Kantanshi peacefully. Why? Because he knows that the miners in this constituency are now hopeful. Vakateka valungu nintungulushi iya sakamano kulete chalo pamo tabalo ishapa mtundu wa muntu balelo ishomwina Zambia ngomwina Zambia ukwabulo kuipusha ekwafuma n'obuteko bwabo kyatutira cabinet was the representation of one Zambia, one nation. He had our mother, Madam Inonge Mutukawina, as his vice president, and we thank our mother because she has worked for this nation since independence. Today she has said, I am tired, I need to go and rest. Dr. Edgar Chagwalungu, consistent as he's been, he has replaced her with another gallant daughter of this nation, Professor Kandulo. Consistency. Even those who want to imitate him have ended up gongering themselves. Because in trying to follow him, they've gongered themselves with the selections of their running mates. One Zambia, mukukongeresha valungu, pantu valungu vali vamuchishinka. Vali na vamawe vainonge, nomba vasanda wa Professor Luo, ukwewa tiwabe ngenkonkani yao. Ebuntu, ukuwa muchishinka. Others are calling themselves an alliance of you. You know, you can't be in an alliance when you are in an alliance with yourself. How can you have an alliance? We are grateful that many of the opposition, well-meaning opposition leaders, have seen that they didn't need to waste time appearing on the ballot when they know that one Edgar Chagwalungu means well for this country. And so those who have come on board to support him, the Winter Kabimbas, Edith Nawakwi, the Sinkambas, Honorable Chimpakambwiri, abandoning the fake alliance and coming back to the mighty Patrotic front. Honorable GBM, abandoning the same forward reverse. So is Dr. Banda. They've seen who the leader is out of all this. And they've rallied behind President Edgar Lungu. We didn't need to sign any fake pacts. Why have they done that? Because they remember how President Edgar Lungu came into power. You all recall that between 2011 and 2016, we formed government from the opposition in 2011. Midway, we lost the founding father of the Patrotic Front. At the time we were losing the founding father of Patriotic Front, President Edgar Lungu was singled out of the many cabinet ministers who were present to remain acting as president. Now here I want you to follow me. We lost President Sata. Dr. Edgar Chagwalungu was not only acting president, but also commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And according to the old constitution, he was only going to hand over the instruments of power that he was temporarily holding to the elected sworn-in president. But you saw what happened. You saw what happened. Some people schemed to strip him of those instruments of power. On this continent of Africa, dear colleagues, countrymen, the challenge we have had in our leaders has been ambition management. ambition management in terms of top leadership. Many countries have been at war because there are very few African leaders who would want to release the instruments of power to others. Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu had an option to hold on to those instruments. But because he had the heart for this country, he reflected. And those of us who were following him were ready to defend that status quo. But he reflected and said, gentlemen and ladies, I was holding these instruments of power temporarily. If indeed it's God's desire to make me lead the people of Zambia, the people of Zambia will elect me and put me in State House. It came to pass. He handed over the instruments of power. Those are serious virtues. Echo ndeko mailapo wa maana batata mwe bale tumfuila patumila basa kutira ini ntungulushi aishwa kutira obutungulushi bakuteke chalo bufuma ku bantu tewa kuituntumba vyo kutira mpakani ne bali shele pono kusunge chalo bale sunge chalo ngo mwiminishi wabakateka elo balwale basata nelo baishile poko efisolo belo fya chalo fya kusungire chalo aishile chitanga uri amayo wa mubaibo mule kuselo bale ruilo mwana uri ushali mwene wa mwana no mwene wa mwana bala luila ushali mwene wa mwana atila twaka no mwana wali mwene wa mwana atila yo mkwae peleni uyo muntu pantu mwana afiri abana omweyo uri ushali mwene wa mwana alefa waka ni pakati efira fya chitike kanshi muri ba Edgar Lungu natukwata isubilo na bonse aba balufyenye pali karakashita balisa bakunkumba as a unifier. And that's why you have seen today all our colleagues who had run away from PF are willingly coming back because they know that he is a leader who means well for everyone. And based on that, he deserves, because you see, when you are choosing a president, we are also choosing a commander-in-chief of the defense forces. He is the best out of the so many people that are vying for the public office. That's why in here, this manifesto, I was part of the team that came up with this manifesto on behalf of the Central Committee. We have promises to address the challenges, to reflect on the successes that we have achieved, but we are also alive that development is a continuous process. We are ntanshi wa chalo tabuchitika pa mkumo yo. We say, City of Rome was not built in one day. Umusumba wa Roma tawakulira obushiku bumo. Kanshi natukwate esubira okutira ifitubikiri omu. Pakutifika be bwino tufire omutende wa chalo untu twakwata muno chalo cha Zambia upitirire. Nti wapitirira shani tufire okumuno okutira bali abasopa omutende wa chalo. Public safety, police, immigration, correctional service are doing their job. We have capacitated them by acquiring equipment for them to do the work. Those of you who look back, you know how the police were not respected. And you expected them to preserve our lives and property. They were living like animals, if I may say, because the housing units they were living in left so much to be desired. This commander-in-chief, who was at Home Affairs as minister and also became defense minister, understands how important, what premium should be pressed on security of the state. Here with me are two sets of manifestos. This one from the one this is the one I've seen on the market apart from this one. In here, we have got a full chapter talking about defense and national security. Here, what is in here is Public Order Act. That's all there is in this document about national security. National security, like I've said, we have the public safety, which we're investing so much. And then we have the defense. Defense, where we have the Zambia Army. What have we done? We have made sure that we equip them, we establish new cantonments. You know how our people used to suffer on the water bodies of Ruapula province and other areas. The president, who is commander-in-chief, had to establish a specialized unit called Marine to make sure that our people are safeguarded. We have established other cantonments for our men and women. They are equipped. They participate in foreign missions through peacekeeping. And they are the most rated in terms of discipline on the continent. Why? Because they were working under a responsible commander-in-chief who has been inclusive. He has looked after all his men and women same. Those who didn't have housing units are having housing units. Like I said, correctional service, immigration, and others. The defense are also having the same fair share. And we are making sure that as he comes back, we are going to renovate and refurbish all the other cantonments, Tagagan barracks on the Copper Belt, and others, so that our men and women can live like human beings. They can safeguard this nation. Zambia Air Force, whose mandate is to protect the airspace of this nation, didn't have equipment. Those men and women you see, well trained, their pride is how many hours they have to fly. They didn't have planes. This responsible commander-in-chief has made sure that he has equipped them with modern equipment. And it shocks me when I hear someone saying, when I come, I'll come and sell some of the military hardware. What kind of a responsibility is that? If you're ndela ndava maana vatata nanomba tuwalufishe vakateka ambire chalo chino vakaunda vaalishiwa kucholo vayambire okuteka echalo chino ifyalo fimbita fyapokera obuntungwa echira vayambire okupanga ifi abashirikale abakusupa omutende wa chalo nokwafurisha ifyalo fimbi okupoka obuntungwa nga mwale umfa balela ndapo abali abashirikale bakalamba bapita zuze bachinkuli na bambi balela ndapo fyo twasunga omutende wa chalo okupita mu bashirikale okufuma pali bakateka bakaunda ni ba Edgar Lungu abasakamene abashirikale nokumona okutila bachindame namanda bekalamo eba yambirire po kuwamya po opo twapokera obuntungwa nokukula amayanda yapya nokubasutira ifisolobero fyakubonfya pakuti abengala bonfya bwino bantu mutende wa chalo emu abana obunonshi ni mutende wa chalo emu fyonse abanandi abachilalanda finga chitashani finga bombeka umunandi afumine okumaini ili ashiria imigodi alingo mulembwe wa chipuba upira muri tumfwe necho tulefwaya kubomba n'abantu abo tuchindikene nabo tulefwaya abana besu balengeresha nchito mu migodi abarefu mu maskuru yaratu abikire ku migodi nga ba university ba Copper Belt University nabambi abashasambirira efyo lesa tupele mukuba uri awabapanshi no kukosha kwandalama ituretila kwacha alavane tefila wakubepa kuli kashima pepo kabufi akasangwa pa chitunshi eko twapepeke muno chalo kakwe batikabepi abantu we muntu we urefu okuteka na waisa mkubepo ufi kutanga mwanjingisha ukateka ichungulo ni shindalama yapo na wala chitamira kwa ya musangoshi ukubwesha maka yako acha mungu ikishe ni mkumono kutila firafi ntutureshitisha okutwala kunse ya chalo ngakopa indalama twashitisha shabwera muno chalo shabwera mutalo echo twakwatira ibanki likalamba Bank of Zambia. The whole idea, countrymen, is that where we are coming from, every time we exported copper, all the dollars that we sold copper for remained outside the country. And the only time you saw that money coming here was when they were about to pay salaries, when they were about to pay a bit of suppliers. And our people were crying every day, suppliers in poverty. Now we are saying, even if we were going to work with other people in terms of investors, yes, we shall welcome investors who are going to come with mutual respect. We want to make sure that the money comes here so that our kwacha then can be strengthened. And so we have not chased any investor. We have just parted company with investors who didn't mean well. Tatuata mfiapo awakuleto bunonshina ngubamo yo. Lelo twalela nshanya na bayuno nibonse abamigodi kulya bachewene timu lyabo bakateka balungu bale bapelo muchinshi bane twala chitashana. Efya bakateka asakamana abantu. So what you people of Zambia will be doing on the 12th of August is to vote for continuous development, is for you, our poor people in the villages, to vote for continuous social safety net programs that are alleviating poverty. Social cash transfer. We are going to even make sure that we modify the farming support programs. This is what is here. Bamana batatu kusala mukasala patovu kutila fwe balanda fwe buteko busakamene tupitilisho kufula kwendalama shabule isha kutola kupantanji fwe bashikwetu hapa kumo kuboko na ife tukwate kokula kufupatala ukula tumabana kuma skulu ubulimi batilo insala nindi minwa tempulilo iyo turefo ubulimi tule shitishe fintu mufiaro fimbi emo chashu pokuli mefia kulia ngatu ko shakwacha echi mwene bakateka balungu as commander in chief. He has even encouraged all his defense forces to go into production. Zambia National Service, which is another wing of defense, has now been encouraged to go into production. They've got the equipment. You have seen them establishing milling companies so that the staple food of milling meal can be affordable to our Zambian people. Echo wale chinafira wakateka kusa kama na bantu. Bazedenes takuri nkondo lelo twaliwa kansha bantu. You don't prepare for war during the time of war. You prepare for war during the time of peace. So linani neture kansha abashirikale besu turefa ababe na mu production bale lima ifya kulishe chalo nefya kutwala kunsi ya chalo atura leto bunonshi indalama ya kwacha ikakosa. These elections are very important, and I want to emphasize that we shall not tolerate, and I'm happy that the police are now being proactive. I'm happy that our Secretary General signed the peace pact so that we can have free and fair elections. We all must replicate because we know what our numbers are. And those who are doing opinion polls, for us, we have got no problem. We will welcome them. Because when someone is telling you, when you are using a mirror and it shows you that your hair is not properly combed, you don't break the, for those who fix things, you don't fix the mirror, you fix yourself. For us, we are going top gear because we are explaining to the people. Today, as I speak, hospitals are everywhere. The roads are everywhere, even kwa high, where people are running away to make a bridge, to make a road across the plains. People are crying, so where's Chingora Road? Yes, I know in Muchinga, my people are crying, Great North Road. Yes, we are coming. We have started between Nakonda and Isoka, between Isoka and Chinsali, because that's a very important road to the national economy. We are coming. As I speak today, our poor people are accessing good health care. People are saying we shall employ doctors because they have seen the hospitals that we have created. I didn't want to start moving my mother from Chinsali to come to Lusaka to access me. She's in the hospital right now, in the new Chinsali General Hospital, where she's being taken care of. So, this is what we say, that is what we mean when we say proper government, is to make services that our poor people need to access, just as we provide for the house. One Zambia. So, electing President Edgar Lungu, for you, the Zambian people, you are electing continuous development. You are electing peace. You are electing unity. It doesn't call violence any other name. But there are people who can be in the motorcade and their followers become criminals, damage property, and they go mute. The president has had his own members incarcerated because he doesn't tolerate violence. So we in the PF are going to say to our people the message, because the development is there for you to see. There is no country which doesn't have challenges. All the countries, as I speak, have got different challenges. But here, we are determined, and under the leadership of one President Edgar Lungu, supported by Professor Nkanduluo, and all of us, we are going to find solutions. We are not going to fix things. We are going to provide solutions to the challenges that we are currently facing. If we tule bomba ngetimu, balungu basumina mukubomba netimu. Kanshi mwewe na chalo, mwewe kala chalo ba Zambia, ba mwana batata. Please don't waste your vote. Your vote will be very important in order for you to take this country to the higher level. Ozonda lungwa yonde. Ozonda lungwa yonde. One Zambia. One Zambia. Please don't forget the masks on 12th August as you go to cast a vote, because we don't want you to be denied the chance to vote. Thank you very much.
A big round of applause for Honorable Stephen Kapyongo. A big round of applause to all the speakers. Honorable Dora Siliya, Honorable Stephen Kapyongo, Honorable Brian Mundubile, and Honorable Anthony Mumba. Ladies and gentlemen, Romans chapter 13 verse 1, 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 13, and 1 Timothy chapter 3 verse 2 are very clear. Leadership comes from God. Ungasunge chunsu, wasunga ngombe, ngati mulungu sanafakepo kwanja, uperera chape kutamba. State House isunga imyange, and mulungu aziva what Zambia needs. Zambia does not need bitterness, hatred, and tribalism. Therefore, anyone who harbors these will never see the inside of State House. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that we've been here for a very long time. Thank you so much, all those who have been watching us on television, on Facebook. Please, as we conclude, a big round of applause for Dambisa, Rough Kid, Kekero to perform Twaba Bonse. DJ. Twaba Bonse na balungu. Twaba Bonse. Twaba Bonse na balungu. Twaba Bonse. Twaba Bonse. Twaba Bonse na balungu. Twaba Bonse.
Vazambia vakana, Vazambia vakana, tatulefayo muntu na umbi, wala imwena uno wafitala na kambi, ala imwena, Vazambia vakana, Vazambia vakana, tatulefayo muntu na umbi, wala imwena uno wafitala na kambi, ala imwena. Babonse na barungu, babonse, babonse na barungu, babonse, babonse, babonse na barungu, babonse,
Yeah, mwila sakamana, sakamana. Yeah, mwila sakamana, sakamana.
Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. We appreciate. Vakwaya series ready permit series at 5 minutes. Vakwaya chiteni ndende ule hapa. Vavizungu aluta kwa salase ulomba chida nchasu lomba. Benzoti chinga na vizungu. Manje ni siya tu. Nyimbo imozi kula kwaya ziko mkwambili.
Giving birth to my firstborn son was a challenge, not because of maternal complications, but because the health center was so far away. Today, the newly built health center is only meters away. So with my second-born, it was so much easier. My aunt and my best friend were even there to witness her birth. As a mother, access to antenatal and postnatal healthcare is a priority. That is why I commend the PF government for bringing quality healthcare near our homes.